From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Hunagu Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunagu Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunagu Eva Maya E Ma Ho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Health and Well-Being with Viata. I'm Viata. Thank you so much for joining me. We got a lot of work to do. It's been an extremely active week of transitions, souls leaving their bodies. People we knew or heard of, gone. It's been amazing because we are in such a really intense school of soul journeying. And so that's why, and we give credit to my sister Ken, Lisa, for that beautiful video. Thank you, Lisa. If you're listening, I just so appreciate her letting me borrow her creative work and moving on to other creative works when I show Imak with my Welcome to the Village. But we got a lot of work to do. All these souls transitioning should bring us together in unity and understanding, overstanding, understanding what the hell is going on. So that's why this show is necessary, I believe, today to help us understand the spiritual energy that is so strong right now. And people are making opinions and statements that are dividing us instead of uniting us. I mean, when souls leave, we should be united because that's what we are. If you are identifying with your soul energy, you're going to understand. But trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning today. I'm not holding back anything today. I'm not even going to apologize. This is going to be a trigger warning for a lot of you because if you're still divided about a man shooting his wife 3 times, what is that energy? That's a lot of hate and resentment stored up in a person, and they don't know any way to release it other than to take a gun and go pow pow pow. And it's sad for the moment, but then that's the reality we're living in. It's like people are using all kinds of weapons to vent their stored up frustrations, and because these men who are pow pow pow, instead of going to therapy, instead of hugging trees, what we do here, we got to talk about what is going on so that we can bring unity. Because guess what? The powers that should not be, the psychopaths, are loving this division that's being created. And a lot of these pows are rooted in the system's plans to create more division. So, welcome to the village. Let's get down. We got to do some joint rolling because this temple, woo, for all of you who may be stressed or tense or what, the temple is ready to help us release every stressful energy when we use this thing here called the master control. So let me welcome you with this beautiful music by Imak and my journey of tiny house living, which has brought me to this tiny small house, not tiny anymore, it's small, of peace. I wake up every morning with today is going to be my peaceful day. Boom, it happens because guess what? I'm like reminded I'm not going to get out of my peace because somebody said something stupid. I'm going to just roll with the stupid energy and either move on or have a conversation, which is amazingly what's happening with me is a lot of conversation. So let's get busy. And I have Dr. Lee, the spiritual psychiatrist, coming on today to help us move into peace and unity. Got too much division. Welcome to
Put it in her. The cook put in her. And her kabos in this order. Corona cook recus curd in her. The cook put it in her. The cook put in her. I look deep, my dress with mad push loud. On the bed, book bad, the cool type of yow. The cook's a hopper, a can't pop or. Penenza, put the cook on the order. Go who's to get a lemon to order a zempa, haka kept a cataract, a theater can. Tashia, bush you up a sound come on. The fear would a cabally a calat noon. I kick the kaboom to a part to sad. I do get.
All right, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. I love that beat. It just reminds me of my African ancestors, my Native American ancestors, all those energies just flowing in that music. So thanks to Imak. He's on YouTube. Check him out. He's a master creator of music and wisdom. And that's the interesting thing about the reactions to the transitions that have been going on this week. I mean, the brother left the other day, gun to the head, gun to 8 children, bang, bang, bang to the wife, boom, boom to the head. What the hell is going on? And you've got people showing up. I'm a YouTuber, so I watch other YouTubers. You've got these young people coming in, giving their opinion about how horrible men are. Got to be careful, watch out for men because they're going to kill you. And I'm like, these people are no older than maybe they're late 20s, early 30s. Who are you listening to? Really? Who are you listening to? I am going to listen to someone in their 30s telling me what happened to why someone boom, boom, boom their wife and, for about 2 minutes because it's entertainment. But you're not going to get any wisdom from these people. And that's the really interesting thing to me is listening to these young people with very little experience, analyzing a serious situation of boom, 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 and transitions and telling you that this is all about we should hate men. Really? Come on now. That's why trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Now, I feel qualified to talk about marriage because I spent almost 40 years with one person. 40 years. How many of you out there have spent 40 years with one man in a relationship, healthy relationship, no beatings, no domestic violence? How many of you have done that? So you want to listen to people who have experience in an area, not these young people who haven't even been married. And they're experts now. This young lady who went to Tanzania and her transition began out of her body because she had a relationship with a man, and everybody's now an expert on this. Why she went over there, what happened, blah 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 blah. Really, the today's lesson, overcoming your ignorance about spiritual events. Everything is really spiritual, but we have had so much media, third dimension media attention on this one level that we forget there's several other dimensions to everything. So today, open up your minds. We're going to do some joint rolling that hopefully will increase your mental capacity to understand, overstand, wisdom, what's really going on in our society so that we can have more unity, because the powers that should not be, and I'm going to keep saying that, the psychopaths, the mafia, the Zionists, all of those people, they want us to be divided. And so I had a synchronistic moment. A friend sent me a message about a group of people online who are helping us connect to our spiritual reality. I'm like, that's what we're talking about today. So there is an energy of unity out here where we know we need to connect, overcome spiritual ignorance, because the more we see these tragedies, we don't need to have more division about them. That's what the system wants us to do, is divide so they can conquer, bring in more fear. Believe me, there's another pandemic in the works to put people in more fear about dis-ease. And that's what we're talking about. Major cause of suffering and dis-ease is that we are ignorant of spiritual realities. One of those realities is karma, or reaping and sowing. Okay. If you're not looking at every event that's tragic, sad, brings tears, if you're not looking at that in terms of reaping and sowing, it's a law of the universe. Karma. You reap what you sow. If you're not looking, then you're missing the wisdom of the event that the Creator is giving us to learn lessons. We're all here to learn lessons. This is a school, a serious school right now, because your relative might be the next one to be buried. We don't know. I am so prepared for anything tragic that happens in my family. I've had many deaths already, many transitions already. My mother, my father, my sister, my older sister was my biggest lesson about emotional intelligence. When she transitioned out here after suffering with her breasts for 9 months, couldn't get those breasts to cooperate. It's like, no, we're not cooperating. We're gonna just bleed right through the skin. That's what happened with her. And it was such a shocking experience for me, but it was a powerful lesson about emotional intelligence. She had none, period. All she wanted to do was grieve and have regret, unforgiveness. It's a big one. So we want to talk about today and learn about how to develop spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence, so that we can come together in unity and change this planet. There's too much ignorance, too much violence. There is a war going on, not just in the Middle East. The war is in here, where people are so confused about how to respond to life. So the war continues in here. I'm going to boom, 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 shoot someone, or I'm going to have a argument, or I want to debate. I had someone tell me about Justin Fairfax, the guy who boom, boom, boom 3 times to his wife. He said he was a effing idiot or a effing whatever. And I'm like, I don't even want to hear that. Don't talk to me about that. There was a soul who was sick. And the sickness developed because of certain things happening in their life. So for us to call someone a effing whatever, you're adding to the ignorance, the fuel of ignorance and anger and division. Because why, I kept asking friends, and why would a man And this has happened too many times. Why would a man go boom, boom, boom 3 times in the mother of his children? What if that's some deep, deep, deep anger, resentment, blah, blah, blah. But more important, it's a mental out of alignment with the Most High, of course. But we have to remember the system that most people are operating in is pharmaceuticals. This guy who killed this guy who boom, 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 his 8 children and someone else, he was in the care of the Veterans Administration. You know what they do? They write prescriptions all day long. The VA has not risen to the level of non-prescriptions, okay? So what do those prescriptions do? They influence people's mental capacity to boom, boom, boom people. Instead of offering real serious healing, most pharmaceuticals cause you to lose your effing mind. So that's where the effing word should come in is, yeah, you lose your mind because you've been submitting to the system of what they want to say is therapy, and really it's causing more disruption in this body. So let us, in these next few minutes, be in total harmony with love for this temple, this sacred vessel. This is a sacred vessel. And guess what? There's a soul operating in here, because when you decide to take your last breath, that's a soul decision. It's not really mental as much as it is the soul, the eternal being that came into this mother's womb and grew for 9 months. And now we're here as adults trying to figure all this stuff out. That's a soul presence, and that's one of the first spiritual awareness we need to have all the time. Remember the prayer. How many of you grew up with this prayer? Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. How many of you experienced that in your childhood? Me, I did. We lost that energy of truth. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. The Creator's not taking this body, but we were asking as children that our soul be taken. And of course, that's kind of ignorance, because of course that's the whole thing. Your soul will be taken. Your soul will leave and to be taken or move out, whatever. If I should die before I wake. So die, that whole prayer is like, I've thought about it this morning. It's like, was so innocent, but there was such a strong reality in that prayer. My soul, mention of the soul twice, which we have forgotten. Many of us have forgotten who's running this show, your soul. And we have lessons to learn, soul lessons to learn. And I pray that today, this lesson that Dr. Lee brings us, the spiritual psychiatrist, will help us make a major shift out of suffering and disease and into a strong spiritual awareness that will help us stop, eliminate, cure, heal the suffering and disease. That's our intention today. So let us take what is the most important action of our journey is breathing. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Breathe in love, 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 and let it go. We are evolving when we do this. When we do breath work, rhythmic breath work especially, we are evolving. In fact, let me go ahead and play the Heart Taurus video that I played last week, because I want us to be in a rhythm of awareness. This video, it's only a couple of minutes. This video is so powerful to help us see and feel the energy of our heart, which is love. And we want to evolve into this pure energy of love every day. So let us breathe in the rhythm of this heart. If you have a belief that this energy continues evolving with love, more love. Bring it if you're not love. Hold it. Every single we are strong and full of love. No more sickness. Please. Strong. You're vibrating with light now. Breathe it in and let go of any sickness. So how does that feel for you? Because if you have not been doing those type of exercises, those type of meditations every day, that's why you're sick and tired and suffering. Because that is a spiritual piano work that took out my wrong one. So that's what we want to imagine today as we go through the show. And we're going to from Dr. Lee after our joint rolling because Dr. Lee has been presented to me as someone I need to listen to, learn from, because he spent many years treating thousands of patients in a hospital setting. And he came out of that system to teach us about spirituality in our journey. So let us just do some activation of our chakras and our portals in breathe in and let's put chin to chest and let's just roll this head around because this neck area is where your voice comes through as your throat chakra is stimulated and strengthened. And this is also a galactic portal because if you didn't know already, your chakras are more than just these spinning. Let's reverse that. Your chakras are more than just these spinning energy centers in your body. They are the galactic connections because when we came into our mother's womb as a seed of light, We didn't stop the connection up there. We didn't. If you've ever heard about when people have organ transplants and they somehow feel the energy of the person whose organ was transplanted into them, it's because the energy from the cosmos comes in from that person's soul. There's a lot of videos on this, if you don't believe me. But that organ, whether it's a heart or a liver or whatever, it still has the soul energy of that person. So they sometimes feel that energy of the person whose organ they receive. So that's what we're doing when we let's roll our shoulders. We're connecting to the soul energy in the cosmic order. The shoulders are called rhythmic and galactic portals. So imagine here, what's the chakra energy here is the heart, it's the heart energy. When we're rolling the shoulders, we are strengthening this connection to not only the universe above us, because we are the universe. Inside here, we are the mini universe right in here. So let's roll it forward. And when we do this activation with our body, we are keeping aging away, we're keeping sickness away, because it's a portal of youth. And we can do like some swimming in the sea of energy, which is bringing strength to your body, not just activating the chakras and the energy portals, but bringing strength to your arms. If you were to go outside and just stand with your arms like this for 5 minutes, most people can't do that. My friend Tom Elamim, he's the breatharian, he does this every day. Stands out in the sun. And I'm up to 4 minutes now. I can do this standing in the sun for 4 minutes. These muscles become stronger. You actually are building muscles when you can do Tai Chi, Qigong type exercises, rolling. Let's get our elbow joints rolling. These are overtone solar. And we're in the heart chakra area. So this is an energy that's, even when you roll your elbows, this is creating strength in your body. Even if you do it slowly, you don't have to do it fast. Do it slowly and then reverse it. And these joints are portals of communication, strength, and more energy, bringing energy to these spinning chakra wheels. So we go from the crown chakra, the third eye chakra, which is so important in our breathing. We activate this third eye, and then the throat chakra, the heart chakra is the green area. And then we move into the solar plexus down here. So we're going to get on our backs. If you're new, we're going to get on our backs and activate the solar plexus and the sacral chakra by rolling our wrists and our ankles, because this area in the legs is all connected to the sacral and the sacral chakra, which is down here in the lower spine area. Let's roll the other way. And if you can't roll, just bend and flex, straighten and flex, straighten. The main thing is movement, because your movement activates the soul in you, the spirit in you that says, I love myself. And so I'm going to activate my knee joints as well. Roll those lower legs around. Hope you're doing this in the morning before you get out of bed. Just kick those covers off and start loving yourself. Fly. This is your fly moment. Fly. We're going to fly. First, love yourself. Do not get out of bed until you fly. First, love yourself. Okay, that's our rule here. Fly. We're learning how to fly, especially at an older age. I realize, let's go on our side. I realize in my situation, my grandchildren, let's roll this leg around. My grandchildren have 4 parents. And I was sad one morning because I didn't get a hug from them when they left. They haven't been very loving sometimes. Roll this leg around and activate this lower chakra here, because the reproductive area is so complicated. The babies are coming out, the prostates are swelling up because men are having issues with relationships. And so when I sat down and at the tire center, I think I said this, and I was looking at these 4 tires that were coming in and out of the shop, and reverse that. And I realized my grandchildren have 4 parents, because both their biological parents are divorced, and each of those people have a new partner. Okay. And so those are the major influences in their life. They spend a lot of time at their mom's house with their so-called stepdad. And let's roll over and get the other side. And so I realize I'm kind of the 5th wheel. That sadness, I got rid of that sadness so quick that my grandchildren don't show. Let me see. My grandchildren don't give me the love I expect a grandmother should have. We have these beliefs that grandchildren should act a certain way, right? And some people think they need to be spanked more and abused more, whatever. But when I thought about me being the 5th wheel of this relationship with my grandparents, I had so much peace to know my role is different than the traditional grandmother role. Okay. Cannot hold on to the belief that I'm going to be that loving, caring grandmother and receive the same energy back. Not happening, because they are so confused most of the time with their unconscious 4 parents. And so my role is to just show love and shower them with compliments and affection. So, okay, we're going to round up here. I've done enough talking. Bring those knees, if you can, bring your knees to your chest and give your spinal cord a massage, if you can. Just do it slowly, but just do it. Because this is a fly moment. We first love yourself. And this is what you do first thing in the morning that will help you have the energy that I have. I have so much energy during the day. I don't know what to do with myself sometimes. But my puzzle working helps me pause on my energy. And that puzzle is another spiritual lesson for sure. So I talk about that a lot now because I've been so obsessed with it. So let's roll to one side. Push up. Let's push up. Come up and sit up. Take a deep breath. And let's just rub on our vagus nerve a little bit. And this is the vagus nerve, is that big trunk down your spine from the root, the base of your brain all the way. Let's squeeze. And if you're squeezing really well, you'll feel it in your toes, because that's where the energy goes. It goes all the way down to your toes when you do this type of action. Squeeze and release, and just love on all parts. This is a good area if you have pain, to just slap on that area and get the blood moving. And that's the whole function of joint rolling. We improve our circulation. We improve our immune system, because they're going to have a pandemic any day now. They're going to bring out this new story, this new drama for us. And we're not falling. Most of us are not falling this time. So don't fall for the new pandemic. Just build up this temple. Your thymus gland here needs some love. Tap, tap, tap. That's for your immune system. Your lymphatic system, you need to work on that every day, because the stuff that's being sprayed in the air and all the other chemicals that are on our food, your lymphatic system is working, especially right here. When you massage it, you're loosening up the garbage that needs to go out. And then right under your ears, blow out, breathe, and you'll feel, sometimes you actually feel stuff moving. That's your lymphatic system's working better. And then tap under the arms here. All of that gets things moving, and it helps us think how to overcome spiritual ignorance. So, how are we feeling? If you're here, give me a shout out in the comments and let me know. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe while you're here. So I'm gonna move to my studio, and let's see, I'll put on some music while I go, and we'll be right back.
Enha kabos enni sa ora corona kokra cross kodo enha na kukabora enha na kukabuch enha anuti mo dress with mad pushalao on the bed with magical type of yow the cook sa hapa aka papa r penenza put the cookana sa or go who's to get a limit sa ora azempa haka kepu patarak adir ke hen tashia mushi wa pasal kawun the fear who the kabali akala.
Okay, we're in the studio now with my beautiful sacred geometry behind me. That's the cover of my book, From Fear to Faith in the Master Design. And the reminder of the chakras here, these beautiful pictures. And over here is German New Medicine education that I constantly refer to because I'm a practitioner of German New Medicine that teaches you why disease happens and how to prevent it. So if you're interested in learning more how to prevent these diseases that are showing up, my book From Fear to Faith in the Master Design, available for $8, sending me a Cash App, $sign Vieta Rams, and it will teach you all the relationship challenges that cause people to have disease. I learned so much about that I put it in a book, especially after my sister's passing. That's when I started researching and writing that book. So $sign Vieta Robinson is the Cash App, and you'll get the book in your hand. And go to my website, Your Holistic Life Coach. If you're feeling alone, you don't know how to manage this journey of evolution and changing and all, go to my website. I have a program all set up for 6 weeks that can help you get the job done and become a master at emotional intelligence. Especially when you partner with me for 6 weeks, you're going to be a master at emotional intelligence, which is what's causing people's real sickness and boom ideas. So today I want to bring on Dr. Lee. He's a spiritual, he calls himself a spiritual psychiatrist. And he spent many years as a medical professional in the emergency room in hospitals. These are the type of people you want to listen to with experience, not these young people coming on telling us we should hate men because one person, stored so much resentment and hate that he 3 times shot his wife. I couldn't get over that idea. That why does a man show so much anger toward the woman who gave birth to his children? Those drugs, number one, in my opinion, alter the state of joy, happiness, and gratitude and forgiveness. You are not going to have men doing what they're doing these days when they're in their right mind, okay? So we want to help, if we can, help our brothers, sisters too, because they're doing the same thing. We're just not hearing about it. For some reason, there's a campaign out there to divide us about relationships. We don't want to have harmony in relationships because the system doesn't like that. That means we're going to find peace and joy in our lives and have family. They don't want that. So be aware of who's managing these dramas to divide us. Let's take a listen to Dr. Lee, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about these 4 areas that are causing disease and sickness. These 4 areas that he brings up in this video, that why we are having so many challenges with our relationships and so forth. And let me just bring in a few comments before let's see. Robert Young says, awesome info. Too many arm, shoulder, and other issues associated with lack of exercise. Breathe out and dance. Yep, I forget. Yeah, thank you, Robert. Dancing is an easy, fun way to get exercise. Okay, that's the same thing. Okay, so thank you for that reminder. Dancing, definitely. The everyday dance. If you're sick, tired, angry, depressed, lonely, put on some music and dance. That will shift the energy of the depression or whatever you're feeling. So let me bring on Dr. Lee. He has a very, I thought, insightful, important message about what he treated thousands of patients and the lessons that he learned from that. So I'm going to share that message with you right now, and we'll learn something. Then it's a 45-minute video. I am not going to play the whole thing, but I want to get the beginning of the message in the very beginning for us to think about.
Welcome to the Spiritual Psychiatrist Podcast. So I was a psychiatrist in LA for about 10 years, 7 to 10 years. And I worked in the Geriatric Institute. They were literally taking our parents and our elders, and I saw what they were doing in that system. I worked with the children, and they were locking them up. It's kind of like a prison. And they were labeling them with these diagnoses, and I was behind the desk, and I was prescribing these medications, which eventually I started to realize were numbing their frontal third eye and numbing their chakras and shutting down their energy centers, and they were drooling at the mouth. And I was like, wow, okay, what's really going on here? Outpatient psychiatry, where I'm speaking literally one-to-one with all of the world's problems in West LA. When the world got problems, it comes to LA, West LA. I did my, when they don't fit in, which we're not meant to fit in, by the way, they come to West LA. And I was literally there for residency at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, and then completed my residency at University of Washington Medical Center. And then I was literally there talking to the entire world's problems, literally blending electromagnetic fields while I was going through every single psychiatric condition personally. So according to the Psychiatrist Bible DSM-5, I could have been labeled with major depression 4 times, suicidal ideation, paranoid schizophrenia, like I was so paranoid, generalized anxiety disorder, alcoholism, substance abuse disorder, you name it. I called off my wedding in a manic episode, and I was learning firsthand what was really happening in my own body, in my own frequency, in my own awareness, in the invisible world, the physical world, the emotional world, the physical world, so that when my patients sat across from me and they were telling me about their experience, I could look at them and I could say, me too, bro. Yeah. This is what helped me. And I just remember like the last 2-3 years of.
And I just want to point out, when you have had those traumatic experiences like he described, the alcoholism, the depression, the suicide, the surgeries, the cancer, that you're meant to share that. And like he said, say, me too, bro. Sit down with somebody who's going through the same thing and work it out together. And that's what we need to do more of. Too many people are keeping it a secret. Oh, I can't talk about that. That's my business. No, you're meant to share and say, yeah, me too, bro.
Of working there, where when that door would close, I would just start speaking from my soul. Because this book that psychiatrists made up based off research bias papers, which are sponsored by Big Parmesan cheese, which are feeding a system which never, ever actually heals anybody, because if they heal someone, there's no money.
Now, Big Parmesan cheese, you may have missed that, but I hope you know what that stands for. Big pharma cheese. That's what the coded word is.
In that, while our children are being locked up, while our aunties and uncles are being numbed, and while our parents are literally drooling out the mouth, being fed crap food and crap air, spending their life savings, while psychiatrists are fighting over them as a patient because they get paid per person and they don't have time to actually talk to them, and they're transitioning and dying while they're in this psychotic, numbed, soulless state. And how you transition, just like before you transition when you're going to sleep, well, if you watch a horror movie before you go to sleep, you might get a nightmare. Same thing before you, death is not real. It's a transition state in consciousness. So our parents are draining everything that they've earned in their whole life into a system that will not give it medical insurance until they use all of their savings in a skilled nursing facility, drooling at the mouth, transitioning. And that affects where they go, where their consciousness goes, right? So I was like, once I started understanding and learning these things, I was like, whoa, dude. While I was going through it, then I got offered 2 times as much to stay on at the nursing facility. I said, nah, I can't do it. So that's when I started working one-to-one. And 2 weeks before I was to become a partner at one of LA's biggest psychiatric hospital firms, I learned that we have what is called a superconscious mind. It's your soul. Your 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, which is your soul, which is where the word psyche, soul, comes from. But the whole industry, the whole system, on purpose, in Germany, there was a guy named Wilhelm Wundt, said, there is no soul. There's only mental, emotional, physical. Humanity is like a table. If it's broken, you change the serotonin.
And that drawing on his T-shirt is called the Tree of Life. I studied that for many years in Hebrew understanding. There are lots of Hebrew words associated with that drawing, but the main point is he's wearing a figure that has many dimensional meanings, and it's called the Tree of Life. Remember, we love our trees. We hug our trees.
Do you see why nobody's getting better? Freud called this the superconscious mind. It's your 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. If there's a cut from your soul, you're going to go into this cycle. More meds. By the way, there's no evidence, not one well-researched, double-blind study which proves what the entire industry is based on, which is the chemical imbalance in the brain. They cannot even measure the chemical imbalance in the brain, and they give SSRIs, Lexapro, for everything, for post-traumatic stress disorder, for major depressive disorder. Why? Because it numbs your third eye, and it makes you function in a sick society when it's not really actually the child who is sick, it's the society that's sick, which was programmed based upon big Parmesan cheese to keep people sick, to keep people cut off from their soul, when in all actuality, the entire psychiatry, the word psyche comes from soul. But there was literally a movement where the Nazi whole movement came from, was born from this cutting off from the soul, that human beings are like a mechanical system, without understanding that if you cut someone off from their soul, they're never going to get better. And so that's why there's not 20,000 whatever conditions. If you have this many symptoms for this many symptoms for this long 5 out of 9 symptoms for 2 weeks. You have major depressive disorder. If you have major depressive disorder, you go see the psychiatrist who doesn't have time because they have 15 minutes because the insurance is coding, and they check off these symptoms and they give you a medication, which you take it, you go home, you take it, and it makes you numb, and you're like, oh, I got a little bit better. Okay, cool. 6 months later, it stops working. Come back to the psychiatrist. They give you more meds, increased dose, you get more numb, and then eventually you stop feeling. And then eventually you're like, oh, and you give you a second medication, and then 6 months later you come back and it's feeding the system, and then you come back later, right? And eventually you can't feel anything. And then you become suicidal because you can't feel. Because you feel like you're not connected to your soul or to anybody else. And then eventually you get suicidal. And eventually, if you say, oh, I have feelings of hurting myself, then they throw you in a psychiatric hospital. It's like a prison.
Now, this is why you don't say the Justin Fairfax or the man who ended the life of 8 children is a effing idiot or a effing whatever. Because if you understand what Dr. Lee is saying, they get caught up in a system that makes them numb to the loving energy that their children need. And they are zombies. They're making people out of, in my opinion, that's what happened with Justin Fairfax. They haven't brought out how many meds this man was probably on, not to mention the alcohol. But Dr. Lee is pointing out here why people are sick and diseased because of the numbness that's created from the Parmesan cheese, he calls it.
And the doctors there, they don't have time to really sit with you and to understand what's going on. It's an insurance company. They have to meet their quota. There's only one disease. The truth will set you free. It's when this book that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I swear, like by this time, everybody in society can meet one mental health disorder in the psychiatry Bible, because every 5 years they come together, right? And they create little new diagnoses and labels. So as soon as our child or our children accept from the white coat, which they were programmed to believe in through the system, they say, oh, I have major depression. It's my bipolar. It's a made-up diagnosis. Oh, it's my ADHD. Then they're literally causing a chemical imbalance by believing there's something wrong with them, which leads to a label and a diagnosis, which leads to isolation, which leads to inflammation, which is the cause of all disease. You see that paradox? But the truth will set you free, and the truth is there's only one disease. Less than 1% of disease is congenital, which means you're born with it, which means that greater than 99% of all disease, okay, and no doctor will tell you this, right? It's your epigenetics, what you don't see. Now science is proving there's epigenetics. Your genes are literally listening and coding for proteins, which your thoughts, your words, your beliefs, your attitudes are coding and communicating with the DNA scientists called junk and your double-stranded.
So let me stop it there and focus on what he just said is the major cause of your dis-ease. Your thoughts, your words, your beliefs, and your attitude. 4 things. And this is part 1, because we can't really cover, I think, the full therapy needed to overcome spiritual ignorance in one show. And I'm not going to go too much over, but we're going to go over an hour today because I want to show you another video that he did talking about the 1 billion people who are depressed or on whatever. But write that down: thoughts, words, beliefs, and attitude. The thoughts especially. I have people in my life who demonstrate all the time why they have the diseases they have or the inflammations that they have, because their thinking is always, a doctor can help me, number 1. And then the beliefs and the words are like, I have this pain, I have this weakness, my legs are weak, my arms are weak, this is weak. And those words come out often. I'm listening to them in family members, friends, and all. I'm hearing the diagnosis coming from their mouth, and scripture reminds us you're snared by the words of your mouth and you have the power of life and death in your tongue. Now, some people will say, well, it's a reality if I have this happening in my body and there's nothing wrong with me speaking it. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Dr. Lee just explained to us there is a problem in your psyche, emotions, when you keep talking about the weakness you're feeling in your body, when spiritually you're meant to overcome all of that because you have a super conscious mind that has been bamboozled and taken captive by the pharmacies, you know, the organization that loves to write out papers and give it to you to run to your drugstore. So let me share one more video before we go. But write that down. And thoughts, beliefs, words, and attitude. We want to work on those for the next few days, weeks. Watching, put this on your refrigerator. I am changing my thoughts, words, belief, and attitude to heal my body. That's what's going to heal your body. When you stop saying, I have this weakness, I have this, I have that, especially if you say, I am sick, I am this, I am tired. You don't do that. Every time when I go for a walk, if my leg is telling me it's inflamed or what, I walk, the whole walk is, I am healed, I am healthy, I am strong. I am healed, I am healthy, I am strong. By the time I finish that walk, there's no pain in my body. That's the way we work here in this house. So and that's the experience that you're not going to hear from people on YouTube, especially these young people coming out, well, that we need to hate all these men because they're killing our women. No. We need to heal ourselves. We need to heal our thoughts, our words, our beliefs, and our attitudes. So taking full responsibility. I said it in the beginning, trigger warning, because I know a lot of you don't want to take responsibility for what's happening in your life. No, you don't want to take responsibility. You want to blame the men, blame the women, blame everybody around, blame the doctor, blame your mother, your father. That's not going to work in the spiritual wisdom of things. Not going to work. You can blame your mom, dad, everybody till the cows come home, and you're going to be in the hospital with some disease because you're not taking full responsibility and watching your words and getting rid of old beliefs. I was in a relationship for 5 years with a man that taught me everything about old beliefs, and he suffered greatly at the end of his life. He could not let go of the old religious beliefs. I tried, but I had to give up. And I had to give up because Spirit was saying it's not your job. You're just going to learn from this experience. So his thoughts about his childhood and why his parents gave him away never went away. His words about how sick he was and and anger, lots of anger, because every situation was like, why is this happening to me? I don't need this. I'm a good person. And then the attitude, like, you can't tell me anything. I've studied this, I've studied that. And I just had to watch him suffer and be in great pain. And you know what happens at the end of your life when you're in so much pain? They bring on the morphine and you go into heavenly thoughts and no pain. And he woke up a day or two before he transitioned. He said, why am I still here? That's what his daughter told him. Why am I still here? Because all that pain and suffering that you couldn't let go, you didn't want to let go, and that you didn't need to let go because I was there to learn a lesson. We're here to learn lessons, brothers and sisters. The shootings of mothers and fathers and divorces and all that is all about lessons to help us do better. Now, this video, I want to just play a little bit about 1 billion people. If you look at what happened in the last week with all these pow, people taking lives out, this is about 1 billion people are really depressed. Are mentally, what does he say? 1 billion people are mentally ill. So let's just listen for a minute on this wisdom and reality that we are facing now in this earth.
So the estimate right now is that 1 billion souls out of 8 billion are literally going through a mental health condition. So we all know an auntie, an uncle, a child who's been diagnosed with a mental health condition. And currently, the system does not treat the root cause, which means our auntie, our uncle, our parents are literally going to cycle through a system that never treats the root cause, that gives you some type of a chemical to treat something, but it's never actually treating the root cause. Therefore, they're going to cycle in a system on more medications, right? And more side effects. And this is why, they literally cycle through addiction rehab centers and never actually treating the root cause.
My personal belief is that all these people taking out other human souls, they're on some type of drug, and that's what's influencing their crazy, hateful, disturbed behavior. Mentally ill because, like he said, they've been in a system that is not treating their soul.
And so this is why we started this podcast, to bring awareness and attention with intention to the actual truth that 99% of all mental health conditions and all disease starts in the invisible world. Your thoughts, your words, your beliefs, your attitudes, literally the invisible world of frequency is what the brain administers 3D into the emotional body, into the physical body, and it's all interconnected. And for the last 7 years, I've literally been praying for a new global paradigm of mental health that treats the root cause. And the beautiful thing is, the technology is already here. And the greatest technology is within your 12-stranded DNA. So it's my intention to literally reconnect and remember together the truth of who we really are. And that's really all it is when people have forgotten who they really are. You're not a diagnosis. You're not a label, right? And then together, once a lot of us begin to remember, together we can literally, those who love peace must learn how to communicate, synergize, and better than those who love war. And I see, visualize, and I feel, and I can already see it happening. These new centers that are arising, which has all of the technology to treat the root cause, to literally treat and let that frozen light and trauma move again, to treat the root cause of addiction, which is an underlying trauma, right? And to have like an environment in nature with staff which are well educated and aware, who can hold the space, who really understand what's happening, so that our children and our children's children, and most of all, also our parents, right now they're going into a system, the system tells them to go into a skilled nursing facility. Literally, and we used to work in these centers. And these centers are draining our parents' life savings. The system is designed so, like, if you have a certain amount of money, you can't even go into these centers unless you drain your life savings first, and then the insurance.
So he's going over again what we did in the first one, but the main point again is the invisible energy of your thoughts, your beliefs, your attitude, and your words is what's really contributing to your discomfort, your lack of joy, peace, and sickness and disease. So I hope you'll think about this in the coming week. I want to end again with the heart torus, and let us do again some rhythmic breathe. This to me is the best solution for whatever you're going through in your body, mind, is to pause, be still, and know that I am God, as the word says, but be still and know that I am the creator. I am Yahuwah. I am spirit. I am source. I am the Christ mind. Be still. You can't do that really as much if you're busy doing things that you don't like. But being still, that's meditation. Prayer, meditation, whatever you want to call it, is going inside. Be still and know that I am. Who am I? I am a soul in this body having an earthly experience. Why? To learn lessons, evolve. Evolve is love, spelled backwards without the E. Love. I'm learning to love myself, because our parents don't really show us how to love ourselves. They get us caught up in all these systems, education, medical, and then we get totally confused and start smoking pot and drinking and and drowning our sorrows in alcohol. Addiction, as he said, is something that occurs because we are ignorant of spiritual reality. So let me see. We have a few comments here. Okay, joint rolling every day don't mean reefer. No, we're beyond the reefer. I hope we unless you need soothing of your discomfort from outside sources, you're going to roll a joint, you're going to drink alcohol, you're going to eat lots of crappy food because it's comforting. That's what and I see today so much even with my family. We use food as a drug. Ugh, all the crap. When you go to the grocery store, do you ever walk down the aisles and see the mind-blowing choices for crap, for chemicals? I did a video of the H Mart in our area. There's a place called the H Mart. You can buy everything you need in one store, department, laundry, everything. And there was so much processed food, more than ever. All the choices are confusing us when we go to a grocery store. It's not to nourish our body, it's all for comfort. And my son will go to this H Mart and bring home more comfort food as if he didn't have enough. So I'm the only one with some wisdom in this family unit here, because I am just so determined to not have any disease or hospital experiences in the rest of my life. In my 70s, I'm flying all over the place. Mentally, spiritually, everything. But yeah, no more joint rolling for me. Alcohol, I don't really need that anymore. That would be just for social reasons. But higher learning says tree power. There's this spiritual energy in the tree that we have missed. And while we are embracing that tree for its power, soul power, yes, personal power, hug a tree. And what is that? Release, remember, awesome. Yes, this is the spiritual ignorance people walk around with. Oh, the tree's just a tree. So much more than that. So much more. The energy that tree is giving off, the roots and everything, the leaves, all of that. Oh, power, power, power. Thank you, sister, for that reminder. And then Robert Paris says, you are so awesome. Gratitude, my dear sister. We are awesome. I think anybody that shows up every Friday morning and night, we say we, thank us, united souls, united spirits. So let us just do a final breath work, keeping the eyes open though, and using the heart torus as a reminder of our spiritual journey that we're on, with this aura around us, this aura within us that helps us heal anything. Once we shift our thoughts, our words, our beliefs, and our attitude, you don't need that doctor anymore. And they have med beds coming out for those who don't know how to shift the thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes, and they're going to replace all the doctors. So let's take the last 3 minutes and just breathe. Practice breathing through your mouth and out through your mouth, as well as doing in nasal breathing. See what feels best for you. And then this music is just the best to me for rhythm. This piano, but you need to find your rhythm. This is one rhythm that can help you get into spiritual intelligence. And watching this video reminds you that we are more than just our body. Let's just take it in, breathe in through your nose, out through your nose, and breathe in through your mouth. See what feels best, and then you might use them. Practice, practice, practice. And that energy is in everything. It's the sacred geometry is everywhere and everything in you and plants and trees and birds. It's in everything. So there's a command by Christ, the Messiah, the Spirit of love and truth says, love your neighbor as yourself. That's a huge challenge for all of us because we're so busy looking at the physical and the behavior of our neighbors that we find it very hard to love them. But that's the command, that's the instructions. If we want to have a peaceful earth and planet and a peaceful community, got to love our neighbors as ourselves. So don't be effing this, effing that about your neighbors, your friends. Just send love energy to them. Love energy, love it. They need it. We all grew up in imperfect houses, or at least most of us. Some of us say they had a perfect childhood. Yeah, I don't believe it, but that's their experience. So, and if they behave in a loving way, then maybe they did. But those who are unable to love, it's because their thoughts, their beliefs, their attitude, and their words are not in alignment with the truth of the Creator's love. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If you need some help, you can go to my website, and I have lots of materials to help you grow. My ebook is available on my website, and you can send a Cash App to receive that ebook. And on my website, yourholisticlifecoach.com, I have a program. If you want to go 6 weeks with me, you're going to have emotional intelligence like you never believe, because I am so there, quickly coming out of any sadness or depression, any low frequency emotions. I don't stay there. I can't stay there. So I want to help you do the same. So contact me at yourholisticlifecoach.com. Send a Cash App, and I'll send you the ebook for $8. Let's get busy. This is serious times we're in. I don't think it's going to get much better, and we might see more eliminations because, as he said, 1 billion people have mental illness, and it's a spiritual awakening if we have the right support. If we have our neighbors saying it's going to be okay, let's go for a walk, let's go hug some trees, we can do this, we can do this, let's do it, let's do it. So it's your mission to do this. Okay, so this Sunday I'm going to a concert of Boys to Men at SeaWorld. It's going to be free of charge. Thank goodness. SeaWorld has what's called 7 Seas up until from like March to May. And I have free tickets at SeaWorld because my son works for them. Boys to Men, if any of you know who that is, I'm going to try and do a live show on Sunday evening at 8, because that's where I'll be at the Boys to Men concert. So either that or I won't have a show at all if I can't do it. But just thank you so much. Share this video, share this teaching with someone who may be struggling to understand what's going on with all these crazy transitions of life. people taking out their brothers, mothers, sisters, children. It's all in divine order because we're going through this major spiritual awakening. So I hope you can go out and get some sun. I'm going to the farmer's market again, and just to walk around and see beautiful people. People at the farmer's market are usually just smiling and happy. So find a farmer's market in your neighborhood and spend your money there supporting the vendors who do a lot of work to bring you whatever products they bring you. So thank you for visiting this morning. Sat Nam, Namaste, Aho to all you beautiful souls out there vibrating in your Native American energy. That's us. And then Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Oh, we are all multi-dimensional beings with different languages, different experiences that we should share. Like he said, me too, bro. I've been there. I've been raped. Yeah, me too, bro. Me too, sister. My grandchildren say bro for everything. That's the common word. So whether it's a male or female, it's a bro now. But let's share our experiences with our neighbors, friends who are suffering and say, yeah, me too. I've been there. I know what it's like. I know what it feels like to be where you are. Let's join hands and come out of this situation together. Let's support one another. Turn off the TV, Netflix for a while, and go out and talk to your brothers. Talk to people at the grocery store. I do this all the time. I was at a nursing home, or not a nursing home. It's a assisted living facility with my friend yesterday. I talked to everybody because they look depressed. It's like most of the people in assisted living facilities are not happy and they're sick and in wheelchairs and all. And one guy is working a puzzle, this 1,000-piece puzzle. So I had to talk to him. Why are you doing that? What is your method here? Because I do them too. We had the greatest conversation. A perfect stranger. He's been there like 9 years, but he works puzzles to keep his sanity. It's a good way to learn about the fractured parts of us that we're putting together and bringing love. That's what this whole world is, a big puzzle. We're all fractured with abuses and childhood trauma with our parents, and all over the world, war in here and everywhere. And we have to bring it together, bring this beautiful puzzle picture together with love. Exciting time. Mwah. I love you. Everybody have a great day, and I'll see you maybe on Sunday at Boys to Men concert. I'm so excited. Love you.